I'm not wearing my skin tones.
Well, what a coincidence. Neither am I.
Okay, this movie, the Proud Family movie, which came out in 2005 and served as a final send-off for the Proud Family series, is kinda really nuts.
Interesting. Pun intended.
In fact, this movie milks that pun to the bone. And no,
I'll do you one better.
the whole antagonist, the villain of this movie, is based on a pun. He's the crazy, nutty professor experimenting with literal nuts. But no, the joke villain is not one of my largest issues with the film. The Proud Family movie has big problems, and I especially want to highlight one giant missed opportunity around the half point of this movie that wasted the movie quite a bit and changed the movie from character-driven to merely plot-driven in my experience. It's such a shame because this film has a lot of fun things in it. Hello fellow Disney Plus watcher, it's nice to talk with you about Disney Plus today. If you love Disney and Disney Plus as much as I do and enjoy talking about it, why not click the subscribe button to stay up to date and give it a like so that more people can find this video. Thanks. Now a disclaimer, I'm gonna dive in deep. I'm gonna talk about characters, themes, but I'm not so much right now interested in fan lore, if you know what I mean. I'm not gonna dive into how they treated this side character here and there in comparison to the original show or the new show. I'm not gonna go all meta here. I'm just going to talk about this movie as a film because I have a lot of things to say about character journeys and plots and mysteries and all that and the flow of the movie. Let's go into it. Okay, we're going to get into spoilers. Are you ready for that? Okay, great. The opening of the film, don't worry, I'll get to the good parts, but the film opens with a little bit of the original intro and then, boom, it cuts to one of the worst openings I've seen in a movie. It starts out in the ocean where we see some 3D rendered fish and hear some ethereal Thomas Newman's Finding Nemo score sounding music. Then it cuts to the title of the movie and the vibe of the music, the theme of the music under this scene changes for another 2 times. From peaceful Finding Nemo music to menacing epicness to light Hawaiian music. I've seriously never heard a scene scored so badly, wow. But then the movie gets good. The first act of this movie is a real gem that feels so right for the characters of... Oh no, wait, sorry, rewind, we're not there yet. First we have to meet the... nutty... professor before we can meet our favorite characters again. Dr. Pun intended. I mean, Dr. Carver is the crazy evil scientist, and he works okay for this movie. He's ridiculous, over the top, but alright, I'll go along with it. He has an Igor-type character by his side, a plan to take over the world, and a dangerous potion to turn peanuts into soldiers, and this character totally reminds me of Gru and his minions, but don't think about that for too long. That film came 5 years after this movie. I guess villains with pointy noses and tiny yellow merchandise opportunities are a common trope. Guys, the first act of this movie is really good. We see Penny falling in love with a boy, and not just a boy, a celebrity teenage rapper, kind of like a Jaden Smith type character. 15 Cents is his artist name, and I don't think we ever learn his actual real name. But if you know more of the lore than I do, please tell me in the comment section, of course. And Penny's crazy about this boy. Heck, she even hangs a poster of him on the ceiling, only to try and kiss a picture of his face while standing on a dangerously high pile of books.
Stop it!
But this boy is the thing that breaks her and her father apart. And this is the core of the story. Penny's and Oscar's relationship, which later gets sidelined, but I'm almost there. We get a scene where they tell each other they wish they weren't related, they wish they never knew each other after Oscar caught Penny and the boy kissing, and now she's grounded and her birthday's cancelled too. So tensions are high within House Proud. We get this great scene where Trudy gives Penny a gift from her father, and this scene right here should have meant more than it did, which ties to my main issue, but we'll get there. This scene was lovely and I love that they took the time here. The crazy scientist peanut plot can wait. We first have some family issues to work through. Now that the story planted some seeds for the plot of the film, it really begins with the family leaving for a sunny and relaxing vacation. But how do we get there? Well, rewind again, that's where Oscar's new invention comes in, the pork nut. Half pork, half nut, as Oscar says. Now this movie does one really confusing thing to get the plot going, and it made me scratch my head, but it's not something that plays a huge part in the film going forward, so it isn't a huge deal. But here goes. Oscar apparently made a dipping sauce along with his pork nut that he claims will never make you worry about an expiration date. Now that piques the interest of nutty Professor Dr. Carver, who is right around the corner, as we saw in the opening scene, his peanut guy's first experiment failed and his test subject fell apart almost immediately. So we knew our villain has to get something to conserve his peanut soldiers and keep them from rotting, from falling apart. Now that's all perfectly good and fine, but what happens when Oscar uses his sauce while demonstrating his pork nut to the company? The nut multiplies, which surprises Oscar. Now, did Oscar and Dr. Carver accidentally switch up their suitcases, leaving Oscar with cloning potion and Dr. Carver with his preservative? Then it would add up, then it would, but they don't. This sauce right here is Oscar's preservative sauce, and apparently it unlocks cloning for some reason. So the movie's a bit unclear and hazy about the rules it's trying to apply. What secret recipe does Oscar really have? I guess he accidentally made cloning juice? A little drop of loony Uncle Oscar's little potion drink is, besides a tasty preservative, also a modern miracle. Now, I don't buy Oscar accidentally inventing a multiplier. That's too much of a suspension of disbelief for me to handle, but okay. Dr. Carver now has a plan to get the cloning juice from Oscar so he can finish his little experiment and take over the world. He disguises himself as a wealthy lottery owner and tells the family they have won a luxurious vacation. What do you say? Trudy immediately trusts him and they do not question his motives, even though he's clearly sketchy. Now, okay, the story is depending on the main characters to be complete and utter lunatics in order for the film to kick off. That's a common trope, fine, I'll go with that. Trudy really believes it could be good for the family given the tension around the house, so off they go. During the first night of their stay, they get introduced to a new character we haven't seen before.
Clark Kent is Superman.
Really, the family acts like they never met him because of some glasses. Okay, that's a common trope too. We're not gonna let that ruin our movie. No. So during a song and dance scene introducing the island lagoon, these little peanut clones steal objects and pieces of toenail and whatever they need to retrieve DNA. And I really liked, it wasn't yet a huge focus, because the cloning of the Proud family happens later in the film, but it was nice to see it foreshadowed here. And I love that the family dynamic and set rules within the family are completely intact. Like, even while they're on their vacation, when Penny comes home from her walk with Cashew, Reed Cashew, family Proud fights over her curfew.
Where have you been? It's well past your curfew, young lady.
Relax, Mom. I was just hanging out with Cashew.
And by the way, I really liked the relationship between Penny and Cashew. It was really sweet. This film is dealing with the tragedy that goes with being an individual that is bred by a machine, which is Cashew. He longs for real family. He even sneaks back on the boat later on in the film and admits he just wants a little peek into Penny's life. I love what that does to Penny. Cashew inspires Penny with the mere fact how special it is to have loved ones around you and how we shouldn't take that for granted. Great stuff. I also like the idea, and this film hints at something that reminds me of the Clone Wars, their individuality. The individuality of the peanut people, the peanut clones. The rogue peanut clone that warns Oscar about the dangers of giving Dr. Carver the secret to his cloning sauce is a representation of the free thinkers among the peanut clones. I love it. I would have liked to see more of that culture. Maybe they would form an army so that we could have had an actual battle between forces. Instead, we got this.
There's only one way to get past them. Battle dance.
Stop it!
Which, sorry, this is such an awkward scene. And yeah, I know, it kinda serves as a character resolution for Zoe, who earlier on in the story faced rejection for her bad dancing skills on the audition for 15 Cent's backing dancers, although that rejection itself got undone by Mr. Big Shot himself, because Penny persuaded him into hiring not only Penny but her friends too. And exactly that is the reason I still feel like this Zoe facing rejection didn't need a final payoff here, but the whole scene was also too long and uncomfortable to watch. So the second part of this movie, of our character's journey, is when the clones got introduced, and both Oscar and Penny were so happy with the other's new attitude. And by accident, not Clone Penny, but the real Penny is unknowingly joining the clones to go back to the House Proud to try and find the secret formula. Wait, so Penny has an identical watch? The real Penny comes back, and she's also wearing a similar watch all of a sudden? That's stupid, but okay. Again, the goods about this film depend on the stupid to happen. But I like the switch up of real Penny and fake Penny.
Primary mission begins in T-3, 2, 1.
I loved how Oscar and the real Proud family now have to deal with clone Penny. And real Oscar likes this new cold attitude of his fake daughter. She doesn't whine about boyfriends anymore, can take care of herself. She's finally treating boys the way I taught her, he says when clone Penny beats up Cashew. But here it is, the biggest missed opportunity of this movie. So I love that the real Penny is with her weird secret clone agent family and that she actually falls in love with her father more than she ever did, right? Or not more than she ever did, but you know what I mean. From both perspectives, Penny and Oscar finally feel like the other just backed off finally, like they finally have their space. But the necklace, that's the object that bears so much meaning in the movie, that got introduced at the beginning as an attempt at reconciliation, right? It's the one object that represents the character resolution. When Oscar and Penny would put aside their differences, that's when Penny really accepts the gift from her father, right? As she throws it away and doesn't want to see it at the beginning of the movie and doesn't really want to acknowledge a gift from her father that can't even allow a birthday party to happen. Like she's so mad at him. So we agree about that, right? There's dramatic importance of the necklace. It's also interesting that the necklace becomes a carrier of plot, as apparently the necklace contains the secret formula, which doesn't make any logical sense why he would put that in her birthday necklace, but okay, this film needs stupid things to keep it going. It's actually quite a nice move in my opinion when a movie can use a physical object or MacGuffin as both something that drives plot and character. And the reveal comes right after real Penny comes up to clone Oscar and admits, "Thank you for the birthday necklace. I love you, daddy." Like something like that. Bear in mind, this is the first time Penny's nice again to her father, and this is an important moment. So where we're at, just after Penny gave her thanks to her dad and the sweet moment happened, the twist happens. Oscar now has to steal that very same necklace that broke the two of them apart.
Do not fail the mission.
I will not fail the mission.
And folks, here it is. What does the film do? Is there a moment where Oscar steals the necklace from her, leaving Penny devastated because of it? Her father that gave her a precious gift suddenly wants it back without much explanation. The very foundation of character, which is now this necklace, will probably lead to clone Oscar shattering Penny's trust in her dad, bringing our main character to the low point of the story. Sorry for my flub, but I don't care. We're gonna keep going. No, the film doesn't do that. Cashew just tells Penny before anything can happen between Penny and clone Oscar. It was right there. The movie set it up so well to have one of the most important character beats that clearly should have been in the movie, but nope. Penny just gets fed the information right there. She doesn't immediately believe it, but it gets confirmed by the family after. And the clones stealing the necklace from Penny was played entirely for laughs. They found a way to connect the core of the story with the direct plot, and they dropped it soon after for a funny chase scene. Wow. I mean, this might not sound like a big deal to you, but it's a character beat that's built up, then teased, then dropped. So I think it's a huge thing holding this movie back. And I still think this movie's alright, some fun time. But it could have stand out more. It only needed to do the one thing. And I can hear you thinking, wow, why does a movie have to do this or have to do that? Because it's teasing it, but because it's writing it that way. It's building up to that, and it drops it. The payoff, the final moments between Penny and Oscar is simply, "Dad, you must really love me after all."
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, come on. They could have dealt with what it was like for Penny and Oscar to discover the other side of their respective characters, realizing in the end that they love him or her for who they are, even though that makes them harder to love instead of the superficial clone version that's easy to have around and doesn't get on your nerves, but ultimately doesn't care about you. There's a real human story hidden in there, hidden in this movie. They touched on it, but they don't pay it off, and it feels like an afterthought for it. And the finale of this movie is only plot, not character, because of it. I like and enjoyed watching this movie, but this is my biggest gripe with the movie. I think it's a big missed opportunity, and I think it's a shame.
Yes, a shame. That is exactly how I would put it.
I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Thank you so much for watching. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the Proud Family movie? Be sure to let me know in the comment section. And if you're interested in my thoughts on the Proud Family Louder and Prouder episodes, there's a playlist you can check out right here. Did you like this video? Then there is a button to express that. Thank you so much. For now, have a wonderful day and see ya.